Hello and welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns. Today we show you the Ocarina of Time Randomizer DDR Tournament Qualifier number 1. Commentators for this are Kari Eventide and Dobby Digital. He will join us later. Say hello.
Hello everyone. Sadly to say, Dobby is currently indisposed, but he's gonna be here in about 2 or 3 minutes. Slight correction, Kari Eventide is of course a snarky lesbian. I haven't changed my name yet, but all is gonna be good. Yeah, welcome again everyone to the first qualifier for the DDR tournament for Season 1. It's gonna be awesome. We have a lot of people here. As you can see, everyone, we have Sage, Dotso, Shiro, and Keymaker on the restream itself. But we have so much more people. It's really, really cool. We've got Rana Guy. Hey, Dobby.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. So yes, as you can just see from the command, DDR, or Dungeon Door Requirement, it's a rule set specifically made for Randomizer that's kind of designed to be somewhere in between the standard rule set as well as Nero and Rhyme Warp in terms of the glitches it allows. It bans some of the most powerful glitches in the game while still allowing for a lot of the quality of life sets. We should see in this race a lot of really cool glitches and techniques. I'm very excited for this.
And we see them starting off. Ooh, bigger on sword.
So yeah, at the start of the seed, in order to do a lot of the glitches that you'll see in DDR, you need to have still some items in order to do them. And so the first part of the seed is very much going to be trying to collect a bunch of items as quickly as possible. Now let the players know what they can do and what they need to do.
One of the interesting points in the difference between standard and DDR is that generally things that are banned in DDR are based on specific tricks, less so than where specifically you're going. Meaning, if normally there's an area, for instance, Spirit Temple early, like through the chest at the top, that's something that people here can't really do because you would be required to hover. But if people somehow all of a sudden find a way to get up there anyway, even without hovering, then they would still be allowed to, because we only ban specific tricks.
Funnily enough that you mentioned Spirit Hover, there is a glitchless Spirit Hover. But regardless...
How disgusting is it?
I think it's pretty gross. Technically, someone could do it in a DDR seed, but it would be incredible to see. Now, we did mention some things. Do you want to go over, Snarky, the entrance requirements for the dungeons?
Yeah, like the most important thing is you have to enter both the boss room of a given dungeon and the dungeon itself through its door, so to say, and that door has to actually be opened. So, for instance, you could say, well, I'm technically entering Shadow Temple by going through the door by clipping into it, but for some dungeons, we require that the door is actually opened when you're going through it. That's interesting, for instance, for Shadow Temple, because there's lots of ways to skip past the door, but we do require people to open that door. How they do that, whether that is with dense fire or with fire arrows, is then up to them. Now, another dungeon where that applies is Water Temple, for instance. Water Temple has to be opened, but there's a variety of ways to get into the dungeon once that has happened.
Yep, so to emphasize, Mr. Spokes, that is exactly correct. You need big keys to open boss doors, except as Child, where obviously there are no big keys, but you still need to open the door by standing in front of it and pressing A. You can't clip into the door, the dungeons themselves. You can use a little bit wonky techniques in order to access that door, but you still have to open it. If you are quite new to glitches in OT. One you see here, and it will be used quite frequently all over the place, is ISG, or Infinite Sword Glitch. That's where you crouch stab with either a stick or a sword or hammer, and you interrupt that with some kind of interaction. In this case, it's interacting with Mito or talking to Gossip Stone, and that causes your sword to be swinging every single frame. It's super useful for damage and also causes you to not fall off ledges, so it's quite nice.
To answer Esenia's question, yes, exactly.
Yeah, you
However,
don't necessarily need Din's Fire, though.
You need to light them.
Though you don't necessarily need Din's Fire, but you do need to light the torches. So that involves Din's Fire, fire arrows, or as Child, you can also use a technique called QPA. Though that only allows access as Child itself.
I'm saying this is actually a Shiro seed because it has a really early shield.
Yeah.
But there's like the biggest divide among DDR players is whether or not to buy a shield. And I'm firmly always buy a shield, while Shiro in the bottom left is never buy a shield.
So I think you should, in chat, you can post, if you are on team, always buy a shield, press 1. If your team never buy a shield, press 2. And if your team buy a shield when it's convenient, but like if it's not along the way, like I mean it's fine I guess, but then like maybe later on if you come up across the seed and it's like, you know, you're going by the market anyway and you've got like the coins, like you might as well pick it up. But like you could also pick some up outside. You know, it's fine.
Oh my god. Whoa! With light arrows.
Wow. That's very nice for early light arrows.
The last few like weekly seeds have been crazy in that regard. But yeah, like I'm gonna point out like an added benefit of getting the shield early is that if you also have bombs or choose early, then you can super slide or hess with them. So there's extra value in the shield.
I don't know if we saw a Where of the Hero. We definitely saw a Path of the Hero. So that's a hint type that's at this point I think it's basically only used in here as well as bingo hints. That's indicating to you we have a preset list of items that we consider, you know, pretty good. Like you won't be upset if you find them in a dungeon. And those items, what the Path of the Hero hints are telling you is that one of those items is in there. It can be locked. It can be something that's completely useless to you, but one of those list of items is there.
Yeah. So those are generally what we tend to call opportunity hints. When you see a gossip stone, you see one of the players reading a gossip stone, the green text is an opportunity hint. So essentially, just hey, there's something really useful in GC, but might not actually tell you anything about the seed. Could be strength. Do you need strength? Who knows?
It could be strength. It could also be a bomb-locked bomb bag at the Rolling Goron as Child. That's entirely possible. But, what are these items? I can grab a list, just to be safe, because we do have, if you're looking for the hints themselves, we do have a paste bin that kind of explains them. I'll copy that in chat. Copy link URL. Here you go. That kind of explains the hints. But to iterate, say out loud what the items are that it can be hinted for. Hover boots, hook shot, Din's fire, bomb bag, boomerang, bow, megaton hammer, iron boots, magic meter, mirror shield, fire arrows, or strength. So it can be any one of those items that are indicated, which generally covers things that are, you know, pretty good. Ooh, nice medallion.
I'm just thinking now they're starting with the 3 forest medallions, so chances are pretty good that most of them are gonna go adult immediately now.
Mm-hmm. It also makes, when you start with a medallion, we play with 1S over 5M. So DDR, the settings have 1 stone in order to access Ganon's castle, and then 5 medallions in order to get Ganon's boss key from Light Arrow Cutscene.
I mean, it's technically, if like we don't have to clear all medallion dungeons, that means sometimes you're really just looking for one out of 2 items. It's like, I need both mirror shield and boomerang, and you only need one of them. That's kind of nice when that happens. So more often than not, you have people end up doing different dungeons than other people.
Main goal is trying to avoid situations where you have to scour the entire world to, as Snarky was saying, find either mirror shield or boomerang, which can be basically anything.
I got bombs in Lost Woods.
Nice. We do like bombs. Yeah, we are likely to see from Dotso some nice Hesses across Hyrule Field.
That's where, by the way, I'm gonna point out that if you're interested in running DDR, you are absolutely not required to do Hesses to be competitive. In fact, I'd say the vast majority of the DDR runners are not able to consistently Hess. At least I'm not.
Yeah, oh god, no. Consistently, absolutely not. It's the other thing to note to emphasize, Hess or hyperextended super slide, which you're about to see Dotso do in the top right here. Oh, he's actually just going for super slide. Never mind. So this is one of the 3 major movement techs that use bombs. This one that he's doing here is the easiest. You kind of drop 2 bombs and then roll into the explosion, and then at a certain time, and that allows you to go backwards in a straight line. And that's kind of the easiest to pull off. There's several frames of leeway to do it. Then you can, after that, you notice right at the end, he slowed down a little bit. He was doing a technique called ESS, Extended Super Slide. Out of the Super Slide, you hold ESS position, just off from neutral, and that allows you to change your angle, but it's at a slower speed. And then we might see, nope, he's still going for another Super Slide. Hess is the fastest of all. That allows you to change, or it's at the same speed as a super slide, but allows you to change angle. And so that's kind of the most versatile one, but it is the trickiest. Altogether, though, it only saves from going the entire length of Hyrule Field 20 seconds. So it's definitely nice to have, but not critical by any stretch.
I want to point out, though, that Hessing, other than looking really, really cool, and you're thinking of yourself as a god while you do it, there is some areas where it is useful to have, where you can kind of like slip between 2 like walls, so to say, like or between rocks. For instance, in you potentially might see it Dotsu do this in Goron City. You can move between the rocks where you normally need hammer with a super slide. You just push through them.
So no, megaflip is not in logic. For the DDR settings, we use glitchless logic. So basically, everything that is in logic in standard is also in logic here, and vice versa. The only thing it affects is what you're allowed to do, not necessarily what the seed expects you to do. You can go through the entire seed completely glitchless if you want, and then just kind of add in different glitches as you feel comfortable.
And more often than not, it actually makes sense to do so as well, because our ability to leave logic behind can be a boon, or it could also be a horrible mistake, as you try to keep track of where seed expects you to go and where it doesn't.
Oof. Keymaker struggling with having adapter issues. We're going to call it that and not him being bad at aiming. But we're going to say that it's adapter issues for Keymaker's controller. He's been struggling with that, so... So we also see Sage going for an early adult play. So it will be interesting to see where Sage goes from here. Probably, if I had to guess, probably going to Cat. Dotso, meanwhile, seems to be chasing that, I think it was a Path of the Hero that led here. So.
Oh, the big Poe. through the valley.
Way of the Hero, Sarias for Stone Forest. That's a big oof right there. Technically, it could be the item. Like, it could be either Dancing Skull Kid, Dancing Darunia, or even, like... Oh no, it can't be Light Arrows, because Light Arrows is boss key. So, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. One thing to note for the, as we were mentioning earlier with the Path of the Hero hints, those are not tied to logic at all. So, the item that can be here can be super useful, or it can be super useless.
You'd get like a hammer for like stone fire with absolutely nothing in fire. Game's like, oh, hammer? Hammer is a useful item.
Fire arrows is on our list, so that could be the Path of the Hero. Oh, Sage found the paperweight. Nice. So Sage is clearly going to win. That's how it works, right?
I'm got an early Requiem. You might see some pretty crazy stuff in Spirit Temple. Yeah, the DDR has a lot of crazy things for Spirit Temple.
Oh, Spirit Temple is very broken in DDR. We also saw Dotso there do a glitch called Navi Dive. So the game doesn't like it very much when you try to swim through water during a cutscene. And so if you're in a cutscene, you just go straight through water. The most common example we saw there is when you talk to Navi, that applies. If they go to Problem Bomb the Well, we might see another instance where you can use a Kuko to do that.
Which brings up a very important thing, which is when you play DDR, you don't have to use any glitches, but if you generally are able to do so, then you're also forced to use a Kuko dive to enter the bottom of the well.
Yes, we like our memes in the DDR community, and one of the big ones is that it is required to use Navi Dive or Kuko Dive in order to enter bottom of the well. If any player uses the song, they get dodge chain.
As you can see at the top right, faster, but, we also allow fire storage, flame storage, something storage.
Yes, correct. So that is nice here for fuse flame storage for the things. That's how fire works, right? You can just jump into a waterfall and the stick still stays lit.
Absolutely. You can also roll through the water.
Yeah, this all seems perfectly normal. That's how fire works. Shira, meanwhile, is trying to hit the Skulltula with a pot. There we go.
Sora is about to get an okay time, I suppose. Oh, actually, it's looking good.
48. 48's pretty good.
Ooh, that's crazy. My best is still like 50 or something. It's a strength.
Strength? Strength is something in DDR that you can skip pretty much every single usage, depending on the seed. But it still can be nice to have one or two, just as a backup.
Yeah, I can skip personally every application of Strength 2, but Strength 1 is a little bit more precarious.
Oh god, is Dotso overloading the... He is. Nice, Dotso. So what he did there is that, if you notice, he's running low on time. And apparently, while the game's paused, the timer still runs, but it doesn't update properly, and so if you go past the point at which the timer's supposed to expire while the game is paused, it just doesn't know what to do, and you just get infinite time.
I didn't even know how it works. That is pretty funny.
It's fantastic. Yeah, there are a ton of glitches that you see sometimes in DDR that aren't useful a lot of places. There are some techniques that you'll see frequently, as we mentioned, ISG. But there are some niche ones like that that are just fun for a particular spot. And as you noticed, like that just saved him going back around. So save what, like 30 seconds? But it's still cool, still fun.
There's so many things that you can use in DDR. It's really, really fun to experiment with. Stuff that you are not really required to have, but it's just cool to learn all kinds of stuff and use it.
We just found a bow there, so early bow is quite nice. That can be a sticking point in some seeds that we've had, so can't keep in yesterday. So
what you just saw is megaflip in the top right. If you roll into the explosion of a bomb at the right time and then backflip, then you get quite a bit of distance out of it.
And Snarky, if someone's struggling with that, do you know of a way that they can make it a bit easier for the timing?
For a mega flip?
Yeah, for a mega flip or a Hess or something like that. Is there an item that could help them, maybe?
Oh, oh, I get it. Wow. I'll tell you all about this amazing item that was made just for people to learn DDR. It's called Nero's Love. So, turns out, a lot of tricks in this game, everything that has to do with you rolling into some kind of damage source is usually done for the invincibility frames. You don't need invincibility frames if you're invincible through Nero's Love. So a lot of these tricks become a good deal easier when you use Nero's Love. So when you have Nero's Love on you and a bomb explodes next to you, like while you have your shield up, then you just need to press backflip and you automatically get one. If you know how to get a ground jump, if you do a ground jump at a bomb while you have Nero's Love up, then you will automatically get a super slide. You wanna try out stuff, I suppose you can just look on YouTube for Nero's Love stuff. Posted a video about it there.
And yes, it is very obvious that the way the way of the hero or path of the hero in CAF is clearly for the paperweight. Can't be deceived with the paperweight. So it will be interesting to see since our players are going to be required to get a stone, it will be interesting to see which ones they opt to go for. It will probably also depend on what items they find.
Which makes me really, really happy, because inside Ganon's castle is a really fun place in DDR, because you can you can really ignore the logic in quite a few places. Because more often than not, the logic tries to hide some kind of really nice progressive item, like a bow, or strength, or magic, away from you. And so you have to get one specific item so you can get all the other ones. And one way it tries to keep you from finding the other ones is by putting them, for instance, in Light Trial. Light Trial is one of the really big ones. You can easily get through the Light Trial block in DDR. Hey, we have more bombs.
Oh, yeah.
There's quite a few ways too.
We did see Dotso attempting there. There's a jump you can do that clips you into the slingshot minigame as child. So that way you can just do it at night. It's a little bit trickier to do since you're not able to set your camera nicely, which normally you'd do that in order to ensure you've got good carding. There are some setups that exist, but Dotso, it looks like, just decided to come back later. Despawn the door? Which door do you mean?
I mean, I think they mean the door that you would have to open with Zelda's Lullaby.
Oh, strength 8? Yeah, absolutely, you can do that.
And outside Ganon's castle? Or do you mean the one in Lytra?
Yeah, the one in front of Light Trial. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're allowed to do that.
Yeah, that one's actually pretty easy to do. It's also very fun because we were worried for a little bit since we have trials turned off that we wouldn't be able to do that. Since like, well, if there's no light beams, how are you gonna duplicate them to unload it? Turns out we did some research, and even when the trials are turned off, the actors are still there for some reason and just set to be invisible or something. So you can duplicate the light beams even when there are no trials on. So you can do that even in the with these settings. Well, thank you for the subscription, Bridge. See, Keymaker and Sage are both opting for DC. It's definitely a good play since it's a very quick medallion as well as a bunch of item checks. So it's definitely we're almost certainly going to see most of our players going for that, especially with such an early bomb bag.
And it always has something. Kind of fun to see people do a lot of early child checks.
We don't
Normally
have
everyone just rushes at those.
Yeah, I think
also
not starting with the not starting with the stone. I think people are opting to stay child a bit longer. Yeah, Dotso is definitely having adapter issues too. Yeah, for sure. We're gonna go with that.
It's extra funny because he's not even using an adapter. Because if I'm allowed to quickly mention how incredibly amazing Dotso Senpai is, he might be one of the rare people that plays on Virtual Console without an ESS adapter.
So we'll see here. Shiro now opting to go adult as well. So we'll see. She might go to DC. We'll see after this. I believe she found the bombs, so it is definitely a good play. Ooh, hook shot.
Nice.
That's a sneaky spot for a hook shot. That's very nice to find.
That's a precarious spot. This is gonna be really, really good for Dotso because not many people are likely going to go there.
So one thing to mention for this, we basically never need long shot. There are some exceptions. You can need it for Water Temple to get to Morpha, but we don't necessarily need the long shot. We can go and use a hover boost. So if we have hover boots, we can get there. So they might find the other hook shot and use that. We will see. And yes, useful cutscenes are turned on. So that enables the Poe cutscene in Forest, which is basically the only one we care about, as well as the Darunia cutscene in Fire Temple and the start of the Twin Rover fight.
Actually, the Twin Rover fight no longer has the useful cutscene.
Oh, I think they might have changed that since now they have it start properly. Because I think
just
they
starts the
changed
moment
it
you
now
run
so
into
that,
the middle.
Yeah, so I think I don't know if they still keep the cutscene because that was really the only important thing. But bare minimum, we do still have the other two. Though the Fire Temple one isn't useful for DDR, the Forest Temple one very much is.
Yeah, the Forest Temple one is super vital.
Oh, so Sage seems to be looking for that Path of the Hero hint here. We'll see what he ends up finding, if it's going to be something really good, or just, you know, an extra bomb bag.
He might end up hessing. He's actually one of the better players when it comes to hessing specifically. Most consistent, I suppose.
Oh, Sage's going
Speaking
after
of
him.
bottles, you also don't need Rootless Letter to get past King Zora as child. So don't.
Ooh, 50 is dead. Nice. So yeah, so as Terry was mentioning, we have several techniques for getting past King Zora. As adult, it is the easiest clip in the entire game. So if we see that, it is literally as easy as it looks. As child, you can use, typically people use either a ledge clip or there's a bomb shoot clip you can do as well.
Oh, we're gonna see a hess from Sage.
Nice. So here we go. So you can see the speed.
You can change.
Your collision doesn't like it so much when you're moving super fast.
We're probably gonna see another one now. Reach the third chest.
Yeah, those hesses were literally just to save like some bombs. That's it. This one allows access to this chest a little bit early. So technically he doesn't have access to this in Logic yet. But you know, it's fine, right? As long as you keep track of what you got in Logic or not, you're good. But that can be a little bit tricky to do sometimes. So it's definitely a technique
That's
we learned.
an amazing consistency for hessing. I wish I could do that.
It makes it look so very easy. Another interesting thing that's Sage has done a couple times is actually switch directions while hessing without pausing. That is actually fairly difficult since you need to move from ESS left to ESS right, or vice versa, without exiting the ESS area. So it's just outside dead zone, so it's like, think a range of like 15 or something.
What when you turn too quickly, then you stop hessing?
Yeah.
So you kind of have to do it like the slow way.
Meanwhile, Siki just, you know, opting to use a couple extra bombs.
I'll see a mega prepare.
There's another vanilla. Is this even randomized?
Nope. But nobody would notice. Oh yeah, I'm not sure if that is allowed in standard, but in DDR you can look through various scenery.
Yeah, that is allowed in standard for sure.
Oh, okay.
But it is still nice to do. Oh, we see Sheer going for a clip here. So just clipping into this kind of area. Seems she went for it, decided to try for it once and then move on.
Ooh, I see it's foolish.
It is something that's good to get used to when you're learning glitches, to know at what point you just say, okay, enough is enough, I'm doing it normally. I also like our foolish outside Ganon's castle. Thanks for telling me about that one check.
One check. That hookshot is still super difficult. If I was playing, there would be no way that I'm finding that one.
We'll see, that's probably going to give Dotso an advantage for a bit. Knowing where that hookshot is and having it already, it's very nice. Since part of the entrance requirements is that you need hook shot in order to enter Force Temple. Since that allows you to kind of hook onto the branch that's there, you're not allowed to hover, and so that's the only way to enter, as well as giving access to Water Temple. Since in order to get into Water Temple, you need to shoot the little crystal thing and open the door, and then use some method in order to swim it.
The little crystal thing.
So Wave the Hero, especially in this, is an item that, by logic, if you were to remove from the game, would make the seed incomplete. So Wave the Hero is very much tied to logic. On the flip side, Path the Hero isn't tied to logic at all. It's just a static list of things that the seed picks 3 of them, 3 instances of those items, and hints them for you. So say, hey, there's something decent in this case. We saw something decent was in the Lake Hylia. So you don't know if that's going to be something that's useful for you, something that's not useful for you, kind of self-lock. But you know it's something that at least most of the time isn't bad to find.
And it should be pointed out that from the items in Lake, I think it was only fire arrows. Fire arrows are a very decent item in DDR. It can open the way for Shadow Temple.
Exactly.
We can do Shadow Temple without hover boots.
And correct, Way of the Hero and Path can't point to the same item.
Yeah.
More specifically, I think they also can't point to the same area as well. So I don't think you can have Way of the Hero point to, like, Ganon's castle and have a Path point to Ganon's castle. So I'm not 100% certain on that. I would have to double check.
I think they can. I think I've seen that before. Now I'm not too sure anymore.
Ooh, we've got a Hero's Path. Nice. I didn't know we had a command for that. That's awesome. No, DDR stands for Dungeon Door Requirement. So it's a glitched rule set between Standard and No Iron Wobble that bans some of the most powerful glitches in the game while keeping quality of life. And then you're required to open boss doors and get into dungeons more or less than 10 times.
Which I'm super thankful for, because some of the boss keys skips that exist in this game are insane. Shadow Temple is a good example of that.
Yeah, oh yeah. There are some very difficult boss key skips in this.
Forest Temple 2, even though we do already move through that dungeon quite quickly, but Shadow Temple is super brutal.
So yes, we're still hoping to convince Trez at some point to do DDR and a DDR dance pad.
Wouldn't he make us do that?
We hope not. I don't think I own a DDR dance pad, so...
Really, we should make Golden do that. Turns out the player Golden Serpinski is like one of the main people who did like the most of like the planning and like lore building, I suppose, for what DDR is. He's kind of the dungeon master of the whole thing. Really, he should do it.
Well, so meanwhile, now we see Dotso and Shiro going for DC. As anticipated, we're basically expecting everyone to do this. It's really nice, really fast, quick checks, gives a medallion.
Shiro, no, what happened?
Ichiro misses a check.
Oh, sure.
Ooh, she missed an eye. Ooh.
Oh.
That's unfortunate. Thankfully, I was able to get back there pretty quickly, but that's kind of tilting. No, Shiro, hey, press the button. Press the button just in case.
And never press the button.
I always spend the time pressing the button because I never trust it.
I never press the button because at this point I'm used to opening, or like enlightening those eyes with chews from the bottom.
Yeah, though I think in this case, they haven't actually found chews yet, which is interesting. They found bombs, but no chews yet. We'll see if Key decides to do any Spirit. Looks like no. Just going for the song, maybe?
Another interesting thing as I'm seeing Dotso with Big Oron Sword is that more often than not, Big Oron Sword actually isn't too great in DDR. A, because we can use ISG, so if we need the damage, we can very easily get the damage. We really want to have our shield out for all kinds of things, like the mega flips, like super slides, like hessing. So in that sense, you always have to put the sword away again. It's really annoying.
Wow, Legend of Paula, are you calling my girlfriend foolish? That's rude. Man. Rude.
What sense does that mean, your girlfriend?
Sorry, what was that?
Like who says that they mean your girlfriend?
Oh, that's true. That's also possible.
Maybe their girlfriend is foolish.
Yeah, we don't judge. Maybe the foolish girlfriend are the friends we made along the way.
Right.
So at this point, we do see people circling around and doing very similar checks. They still, I don't think any of our players yet have gotten a stone. They will need that in order to beat the game, and it also gives them access to Ganon's castle, which, as we saw, did have a path to the hero.
It worked.
The eyes have some wonky hitboxes, especially the right eye. I don't know why.
That is insane.
It's so bad.
It's flipping in the most horrible way possible.
Ooh. Sage going for megaflip here. Nice.
Providing the content.
Ooh.
And he failed. You know that as amazing as a mega flip is and giving you like reach, it's not particularly great at giving you like height, so to say. This is such an unnecessary spot for a mega flip.
It's cool though. In vanilla, it does save time
yeah.
because it saves you basically having to do most of this. Hashtag blame Traz. At least Keymaker is also opting to blow up the lady. It's not her fault that the prizes suck. She's just the person that works there. You know,
she's constantly asleep. Maybe the real
she works there
prizes
day
were
and night.
stolen.
It's because that shop's open day and night compared to all the other ones that aren't. So you know, she constantly has to be awake. It's not her fault that she has a terrible job.
And you think this one shop is actually a metaphor for capitalism?
Possibly. But at least Keymaker blew up the shop lady, which is rude. But Dotso actually brought the dog in too, and so also got the dog exploded, so that's extra rude.
No. That is good. That's doing the right thing.
Don't explode dogs.
Ugh. You're annoying.
Now, and while people are kind of circling around, now's probably a good time
to
remind everyone. Oh yes, we see a lovely sage on the top left. Lovely sage. A lovely Hess on the top left with sage too, so you can see what that looks like. But now's probably a good time to mention that if you guys are looking to try out the DDR rule set, this is the first waster qualifiers, but this goes on for 8 weeks, and you only need to join at least 3 races in order to qualify. So, and from there, the top number from the leaderboard will be going on to brackets. So if you're looking like this sounds like fun, you want to participate, feel free to join in next week or the week after that. We'd love to have you. If you are looking to learn more about how to play the DDR rule set, there are channels in the Discord server specifically for that, which we can link there. You can check out any of the DDR sections. We have DDR discussion if you're looking to just chat about the rule set, as well as a section specifically for the tournament, DDR S1 discussion. An estimate for the time, it depends obviously on the seed. Sub 2 is a very good seed, and 2 to 2.5 hours is about average.
I want to point out though that like when you try out DDR, don't worry. You don't have to be like Sage and Dotso. You don't have to be able to do like all of these crazy tricks that many of us just happen to know because we've been playing the game for a while. It's absolutely fine to just like play mostly glitchless, try out stuff, and just enjoy yourself. And I can tell you right now, like glitching is really addicting in this game. And it's not just because ISG gives you like ISG plus the rainbow and like lightsaber effect is so pretty.
As you're mentioning at the start, this does use glitchless logic, so it is perfectly valid to go through an entire seed following an entirely standard rule set, and that is also a valid DDR playstyle. And so then if you wanted to just add in glitches that you feel comfortable with, you're more than welcome to. If you just want to do ISG, that's totally fine. If you want to just add in extra stuff, totally fine too. That's probably also a decent time to shout out once again our lovely trackers for today: MC Paula, Ginger Sunny, Lazy, and Joda with J. They make it possible in order to do these commentaries and for everyone to see kind of at a glance what's going on. They also tell us all about the things we miss because there are 4 screens going on at the same time.
Also, thank you to Tress for having a pink name.
Who rolled the seed? This seed was rolled by our restreamer, so it was rolled by Siberian.
So far, it's pretty good.
It's spelled differently in Twitch and in Discord, and that bothers me more than it should.
So beautiful. Learning glitches, as daunting as it might seem in the beginning, is actually a really fun experience. Like once you get the first trick, it becomes really addicting. Crazy stuff you can do in this game.
Magic.
And seeing it fall apart, so good.
Yeah, that's a very interesting magic that could very well be what leads to our way of the hero. It's also nice to have that hinted, since magic doesn't lock too much in this game, so that is very nice to find.
Wouldn't be surprised if Dotso is going for it soon, just to show off, like just to get a stone and show off some other amazing stuff. But it has to get through here.
Struggling a little bit with this hest. There we go. as we were mentioning earlier, collision just kind of doesn't work very well when you're moving fast. And so that collision on the rocks in particular is pretty bad. Rang on Ocarina again. Wow. One thing to note for the in terms of the way of a hero, because it's 1S over 5M, you're only required to beat 5 medallions, so you can skip 1. In terms of logic, that has some very interesting consequences, since it basically means that things that are way of the hero have to hard lock like basically 2 dungeons in order for it to really be required. There are some other like kind of exceptions and edge cases, but in general, that's kind of what it means.
No, he's getting a fish. He's getting ready to do forest.
Ooh, that could be very interesting.
Nice.
Nice.
That's a fun thing to see.
Oh, Shiro found shoes. So apparently, Big Pose gives shoes.
And we have a mirror shield.
Shoes are something that are very nice for a lot of techniques, notably for megaflips, because there's very consistent frames that you can use for knowing when to megaflip. So if you're on a console that's able to pause buffer, you're able to megaflip with a shoe pretty easily.
So far, the Saria song really makes sense because logically required, you needed to get to Minuet, so to get to Forest Temple. The Runia's Dance had Mirror Shield, which would be required for Spirit, and I think it also gave Magic. So yeah, that thing is paying out. Yeah, but the rank wouldn't be locked by this area still.
Oh, so Sage in the top left is going for one of the like earliest glitches that you kind of learn, especially when you're learning Bingo, and that's kind of a way to escape forest. Particularly one he did is a clip that gets you in the corner. So you can also do a Navi dive there in order to escape. It's particularly useful in Bingo since then obviously you need to not do Deku Tree every time, but it can be useful here to get to the Zora's River early.
But just like a little bit quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And I got like a mega flip to get here. But having to get the chicken every time.
Wow, Shiro opting to blow up the poor clerk. This poor lady is
And
just forced
herself.
to work all night and all day, and she gets blown up by 3 of our players. On behalf of Axe. Goodies.
Hello.
The double defense that we found, not really useful, but you know you'll take it. It's fine. It's decent. Let's see here. This does look like Dotso may be opting to go to Forest Temple, which would be super interesting. Let's see. It is, I believe, a stone, and so it would be quite nice for them.
We're gonna see the amazing shortcut that we have in Forest Temple. Actually, quite a few shortcuts in total.
We don't have hover boots, unfortunately, which would be even better.
Oh yes.
Forest Temple with hover boots is really broken. Yeah, it is. In DDR, it is definitely not a resident sleeper. That is reserved for Fire Temple. Fire Temple, worst dungeon.
Technically, in Fire Temple, we also have skip, but it's not that.
Yeah, you only have the one. It's like one skip, and it skips like a little bit of time, which is nice, but like,
Yeah.
eh.
It's a really strong skip technically too. It's just.
So in chat, what's your favorite dungeon in OOT Randomizer, and least favorite dungeon? Least favorite for me, definitely Fire Temple. It sounds like there are some other people in here chat that agree.
I don't know, like in Randomizer, I actually don't like water either. I generally casually like Water Temple, but in Randomizer,
Water has
just
definitely
never anything interesting in it, unless it does, and then it's always in the worst spot. Because it also has a really gnarly entrance point glitch.
Oh, hey Snarky, do you want to explain what Dotso's about to do?
Yeah, we could probably watch it first. Essentially, the pose that are gonna like appear in this room. There's a timer for this cutscene. That's why it's like pausing at this very specific point. Gonna like empty the fish. Do this motion so that he can re-catch the fish the moment the cutscene is starting, which allows him to regain control during the cutscene, so he can now run to the elevator while the cutscene is going. And write it down.
One thing to note there, if you're a little bit slower than Dotso is, you might seem like you're stuck in the elevator, and it kind of starts, it kind of goes down into the ground, and it seems like you're stuck. But that you're not actually. If you backflip, you'll be able to like start the elevator sequence going down. So I've had that problem, and I thought I was stuck, and then I found out later that.
Yeah, that's actually normal for me. Like I've never made it quick enough to ride the thing all the way. Like I always get like the stop in the middle there. You just do a backflip and it keeps on going.
One thing to note about this though, this particular state that we have, that the elevator is raised up. That doesn't persist through some transitions. Notably, if you die, if you save and quit, or if you use FW, that is reset, and the elevator would be back down. So basically, right now, their main hope is or Dotso's main hope here is to find boss key as quickly as possible to be able to go down into that basement.
Yeah, that's why he saved before he triggered the cutscene, because at this point we have to go through it without saving. If you were like to save and like reset now, he'd be screwed. At least on that front, and he would have to do it normally.
Meanwhile, Sage in the top left just did a ledge cancel. That's where you kind of you climb up a ledge and you shield some damage on a particular frame climbing up. And the camera gets all wonky and things don't load properly in that state. So you're just able to just go, just walk through King Zora at that point. Dotso calling a shot with that arrow.
Really going for good luck. I wonder, like, if he doesn't get it in the map room, the boss key, then he might do another relatively cool trick you don't see very often. Which is a mega flip over to, like, the last platform.
And one interesting thing for Keymaker and Sage, Keymaker Sage, you see in the top left is currently going for a mega flip. This skips basically the entirety of Jabu. So it's really nice for when you don't want to try clearing anything. One interesting thing with their current setup is that this is going to be 4 of 5 medallions.
Oh yeah, he's doing it.
They might be able to skip hook shot in this seed. So that might be their hope right now. Ooh, nice.
angle. That's why you get rid of that thing. There's a beautiful setup found by Eggmeister. One ESS on to the left. What? Oh, he does. Oh yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't have the 2. As you can see there, being either on N64 or on Virtual Console is really, really useful on DDI because you can pause buffer a lot of things. But it, like, a lot of the stuff works without pause buffers too, but they're obviously really useful. Kind of funny, this one is actually guaranteed to have like any non-key item. And then it has the ice trap. But yeah, this skip is really, really useful. Usually skips 2 keys.
It's also nice since it kind of when you're playing with the elevator, your goal is kind of just to clear a bunch of checks and hopefully find the boss key in a spot that's going to be easy for you to go back down. Since basically the worst spot you can find the boss key in Forest Temple in DDR is one of the 2 Poes, because then you basically have to go through the entire dungeon to
I mean, you can weird shot back down from the ballroom.
You can weird shot, this is true, and that does save a little bit of time.
But it's super annoying. And he forgot to do the map.
I don't think he forgot. I think he just routed it here. Interesting routing, but
no, but the other one would be faster. I think it's actually the one who told me.
There's that
there
boss.
It is.
Perfect.
Just to like extra punish him. And now you can just go back to the first room, into the elevator, defeat the boss. Best case scenario for like DDR is to find the boss key in literally the first room in the lobby. When we get that one, we're like, like we're just giggling to ourselves because it's just really easy to do this.
You may also see a cute clip here. I don't know if it's set up properly for that though. We'll see. And if not, so we'll go for it. After you've pushed it, yes, he's going for it. This kind of setup you can see a little bit in like a couple different places. But if you kind of like line yourself up with a wall, jump, do a side roll, and then crouch up twice and jump slash, you can clip into a couple different places. And that one kind of clips you into the wall where you can go and go directly to the boss. And that just escapes you having to like complete the second half of the puzzle, basically.
So pay attention to this boss fight. After the first phase, which is pretty much the same as in standard, after the first phase, we're really attacking the pace in DDR. Because with ISG always attacking, you are always reflecting as well. And if you have ISG and you pull out the bow, then your hitbox in that moment is in the bow. So it's really, really easy to reflect the bolt. And you can just stand on the boss.
Yes, happy 1 hour, everyone. Those just joining us.
There we go.
This is the DDR qualifier race number 1. So for the next 8 weeks, we're having qualifier races for the first DDR tournament using the weekly settings. DDR is a glitched rule set designed to be between standard and no arm ROM work that lets you use some of the quality of life glitches while banning some of the most powerful glitches in the game.
As you were seeing right there, phase 2 of Phantom Ganon was just demolished. The reason he was using the hookshot there is because when you use hookshot or the bow, then while flying back up, Phantom Ganon will try to reflect it or to protect himself against it, which makes him vulnerable again, and then he stays down, as opposed to flying back up. There's a couple bosses where you don't really have to be all that good at understanding how to hit them or how often or anything. You just act with ISG and wait.
It's a Phantom Ganon with ISG is the epitome of stop hitting yourself.
Yeah.
So see, we did see Sage and Shiro go and dip into Child Spirit, which is interesting. It didn't look like they found much in there, so they're kind of opting out for continuing, which is fair. In DDR rule set, you can do, depending on what items you have, you can do most, if not all of it, as child, or sorry, as an adult. And so most of our runners will opt for that instead.
Up against castle. Time to get the big loot. What could even be in there? I'd say it's unlikely that it's hover boots. Might be another strength. Yeah, that one is essentially hookshot extension applied to the bow, where you look downwards in first person and you get out of first person mode and then you immediately press the item again 1 frame later. Then you go back into first person with that item, but Link's arm is like slightly forward, so you get 1 or 2 more frames forward, which in this case allows him to hold the bow through the wall and shoot.
Shiro just found hammer in Lost Woods. So Lost Woods, the seed had Rang, Magic, Hammer, and Bomb Bag. Was there anything else too? Lost Woods loaded this seed.
Pretty crazy. Now you really wonder what's in Ganon's castle. That is why you have to hero. And whether or not it's going to be a strength or something.
Well, those would be weird.
I don't think hovers, to be honest.
It'd be weird since it's a way of the hero, not path of the hero. So
yeah,
it's going to be something.
And
logically.
irons would be only 1 dungeon, unless something good is in water. But what could be in water, right? And if it wants to, you to go to water, then it's also going to give you long shot. So you really wonder where it is.
My hope is that it's hover boots, or iron boots for water temple, and you need those iron boots because Nocturne is vanilla, and so you would need that to do spirit or to do shadow.
Stone.
Although shadow's a stone, so bless Susan. Hashtag bless Susan, everyone in chat. So, if you're wondering who Susan is, at one point Shiro was doing a seed trying to do that Poe skip in the Poe cutscene skip in Forest Temple, and she had named her fish Philip, and she was failing it several times because Philip was a jerk. Hashtag Philip sucks. But then she switched it out from Philip to a new fish called Susan, and then she got it first try. So, hashtag bless Susan.
I'd say you would not have to name the fish, you have to name the bottle. It's a mistake.
Yeah, so DDR stands for Dungeon Door Requirements. We have, we want a full rule set here. But the long story short is it's a glitched rule set between standard and No I Am Wrong work.
So, you can do all kinds of funny shenanigans. You can't wrong warp, you can't hover, and it's important that you enter a dungeon through its designated door after you have opened that designated door. That you open the boss key rooms after it is hovers.
It is hovers, nice.
Oh no, what does that mean?
Is that gonna be for Shadow? Ooh. Ooh, does it want you to do Shadow Temple?
Ironically enough, one of the things about DDR is that you don't need hover boots for Shadow Temple because you can use megaflips to get over all the stuff. But as it turns out, hover boots are really, really good for kind of everything else. So you can use it to get into Spirit Temple, for instance. Just also find the Mirror Shield. he can just waltz in there. But why is that way of the hero?
We'll see if we find anything else here. But that's definitely something that's nice to find. As Sarky was mentioning, we don't really use it for like its intended purpose, but it's really useful for non-intended purposes.
Really good. As well as like all kinds of slides, because the way hover boots works, of course, is that when you run over like some kind of abyss or whatever, is that you have like a few frames of being able to still walk, meaning it's timing based, which means that if you can be really fast, you can cross like really wide chasms. So we can use those slides for all kinds of things. Like this item, if the seed used like glitch logic for DDR, this would actually make more sense as way of the hero than it is right now, because we can use this to get to Morpha with a hammer slide, just like get a lot of speed by hitting a wall with the hammer. We put on the hover boots, so it slides us across the place where we have to climb up for Morpha. We can use it to slide through walls. We can use it to slide over the bridge in Gerudo Valley. Hover boots are amazing, except for the purpose that they're actually meant to be used for. It's really funny.
And hover boots for Fire Temple could be possible, but it would be a bit weird since I think they have everything they need to get to Forest Temple, I believe. Like the only thing is I forget if the strength was gotten in logic, but definitely the hook shot and the bow were. I think top of Volcano, I think, was just like a heart or a heart piece.
Alright, we're gonna see some shenanigans from Dotso now. Because he doesn't have strength 2, and he's not a child.
Meanwhile, on the bottom left, Shiro is trying to do a clip in order to get past King Zora and go to Jabu.
Yeah.
There we go. She got it there.
Alright, look in the top right for Dotso. Oh. Puts on hover boots. And there we go. So essentially what is happening there is there's a specific point in the wall where if you have the right angle, you kind of clip between the two parts of the wall. And he's putting on hover boots, then he's essentially turning his character, like he's like super sliding into the wall to have the speed. And then he holds a certain direction, and then he essentially lets the super slide teeter out while he turns. And at that point, he basically slides in a circle, in like a 90-degree circle into the stone. And clips into that. We don't need to push it. We just slide into the block.
Yeah, and you did to note there, you do need the hook shot or the bow. If you were to just do a normal like backflip, it would bring you through the block, and so the goal of the hook shot or bow there is kind of to stop your momentum, so you land inside the block itself.
Yeah, you can just use first person. Any type of first person will stop you.
Yeah.
I was playing really well. That makes me super happy because I know commentators are not supposed to have like any favorites, but my horse in this race is Shiro. So we have to see Shiro win.
Yeah, we don't have any preferences unless someone does or does not flip into bottom of the well using Navi Dive or Navi Dive or the Kuko Dive. If someone does or does not do that, then that changes our preferences.
You don't have preferences because you're like really professional. I'm not. I have preferences. I have a dumb username. I'm gonna break all the rules.
That's interesting. Keymaker is opting to do a lot of fire temples, so I guess we'll find out about if the hovers are meant for this.
That could be interesting. But the idea behind hover boots is to get across this.
It's especially weird since it's
logical
just the
sense.
stone, so you don't need this one particular.
Of course, we don't need that because there's a jump for that. There might even be a low in standard.
We'll see on Cheer's side. Cheer's opting for to clear Jabu instead of going for the fast clear. So if there's something in these checks, that is something that I think both Keymaker and Sage skipped, and so that would put them in a little bit of a tougher spot if it's something good.
But what good could there be? We know where Hammer is, we know where Mirror Shield is. You know where hovers are. You know where magic is. Has magic.
Well, we know where one hookshot is. It could be a second hookshot though. Would be nice for.
That is actually a good point.
Well, there's Iron Boots and Spirit. Oof, that's gross. Yeah, so if we look on Dotso's side, he doesn't seem to have, at least on his personal tracker, Boomerang marked. So he needs that for Jabu. Water Temple he could, he could theoretically do if he wanted to. And Spirit, he's lacking the Mirror Shield. So we need to find one of Boomerang and Mirror Shield. Keymaker, Water or Spirit. Water, he would need either Longshot or Hover Boots for Water Temple, and or he would need Mirror Shield for Spirit. And I think Sage is basically in the same spot. Oh, Sage has Mirror Shield, so Sage just would need
the hookshot.
Actually, that much, just Hookshot, I think.
Because the hookshot position is really, really, really mean.
But would he be able to? Is he able to go through all of Spirit? He probably is. Hookshot with Spirit is tricky though, so that is definitely one that all of the players may not be familiar with. But he might be going for it now. We'll see.
I mean, currently it's Child, right? So he's just doing the River Valley and then probably Lake. I don't think it's going. Yeah.
You know, I don't have the tracker for Shiro to see what she needs.
Just have to open the stream as well. Shiro has magic, she has boomerang, she has hammer, but she also needs the hookshot.
Yeah, she definitely will need hookshot. We'll see. I think she's lacking hookshot and mirror shields. I think she's in a similar position to Key right now.
Potentially any item to the water temple, either the iron boots or the long shot.
We have been trying for quite a long time, but unfortunately one thing that still eludes DDR is a way to get to Morpha without hover boots or long shot.
If you would found a way to do a quote-unquote hammer slide over the Gerudo Bridge without a hammer, with just like a normal jump slash with your sword. But way to get to Morpha without either long shot or hovers plus hammer, or hovers plus bomb, or hovers plus enemy. Yeah. That's a bit more difficult.
Thankfully, there are a lot of methods which you can do that use hover boots. So there are quite a variety of ways you can do it with hover boots, but yeah, you still need hovers for those.
Yeah, you can actually do...
In the top left, Sage is going for the Kugo dive. Sage true MVP.
Oh, yes!
I hope he wins. So yes, this is the best, objectively best trick in the game. So you see here, activating the cutscene where the chickens get mad at him, and is able to just go straight to the bottom.
It's actually like a really genius trick if you think about it, is that you're getting ISG, so you're hitting on every frame. If you manage to then pick up the chicken without hitting it too often first, and having it in your hands, while it's in your hands, it is being hit by ISG on every single frame. So the moment you drop that chicken's gonna get really, really angry. Then you just place yourself next to the well, and you backflip and shield at the same time. It's cutscene activated, you fall through the water. It's perfect.
Meanwhile,
But yeah, you were
Dotso
able-
going through Spirit Temple and just did a clip to kind of skip having to do the first Iron Knuckle, and then to skip the second Iron Knuckle, he's doing a hover slide here. So as we were mentioning, hover boots let you preserve your speed for a while, and so you can use that in the midst of hover to get across here. This particular one, because it's so far, you also do need to do a jump slide at the end. But for the most part, these hover slides are just as simple as get a Mega Slide and then put on hover boots.
Yeah, he's getting the dents here as well. So as you can see, there's so many tools available to DDR players. And more often than not, there's multiple tricks you can use to get to a certain place.
Yeah, I don't know if you needed the irons to stop. I think you can switch to Kokiri boots, but I think they might stop your momentum faster with irons. Maybe?
Yeah, they do, because he was relatively far back.
It's funnier, that's for sure, so worth. So meanwhile, we see Keymaker going for in here is in Light Trial. If you missed earlier when this happened, what he did in order to access here without the Strength 3, if you repeatedly exit and enter the one of the graves or one of the trials, that reloads the light beams that are going there. Even if you can't see them, they're still in existence. They're just invisible. And that kind of, as you build up more and more of these beams that are being duplicated, eventually it runs out of memory and it kind of deletes the block that's blocking access to the light trial.
Didn't he just super slide there?
Or he could have just super slide there. That's also possible.
I think
that is
Dotso
also
was
a
just
technique
using like
that's-
a regular bomb jump. Dotso was just clipping for her. I didn't pay attention to Keymaker specifically there.
Yeah, I saw he went into it looked like he went into one of the trials, so I assumed he was doing that, but I don't know. He might have just super slid.
No, Dotso was getting all the stuff that he needs. This is magic. Oh, I see. Yeah. The Keymaker was unloading it. Just jumping like left and right to like keep reproducing them.
Now, that hammer doesn't really help Dotso that much at this point, since he already has the one stone he needs. But still, still decent to find. He will be very happy to see that boomerang. Meanwhile, Sage so far hasn't been super lucky in Bottom of the Well. He's found a Kokiri sword, which, it's nice to have, but like you'd much rather
That
find something
hookshot.
more useful.
That hookshot is the absolute bottleneck in this seed.
As we were anticipating earlier on,
Got it.
that's a bad spot for it, and so that's one that's frequently skipped.
Also, he just had to play prelude there. I think was that literally prelude?
Well, it's 5 instead of 6, so it can't be exactly correct, but it could be the first 5.
Yeah, it was almost prelude.
It was
Didn't have
prelude to
the-
prelude.
The second C ride. Oh no, we have another guy. Now that's also very easy to do. Something really fun to learn for people.
So Keymaker is grabbing that Din's Fire. We'll see if he gets jebaited into Shadow Temple. We see on Dotso's side, Shadow Temple isn't necessary for our players. So this might be a giant debate. Oh, Hookshot? Hookshot was in the... it was very early on. It's in Din's Fire Fairy.
I'm wondering, is he in Go mode now?
He...
Someone might literally be in Go mode because he has the iron boots. He has iron boots, he has hover boots, and he has a hammer. So he can do Water Temple.
Yeah, he should be in Go mode at this point, so he is just kind of rushing. And since he has Iron Boots, he won't even have to do too many shenanigans in Water Temple. You can skip Iron Boots and even Zelda's Lullaby in Water Temple in most cases, but that requires some pretty technical glitches for those.
That's like especially getting into the central pillar is pretty rancid.
That central pillar, we did have that in one of the restreams, so if you're curious, you can go check through the DDR weekly restreams. I couldn't tell you specifically which one it was, but I think it was like 3 months ago, maybe. That we had a lot of our players go for that, and it is pretty intense.
Is he doing the skip?
Ooh,
yes.
Ooh, that's swag.
Ooh, that is some swag.
No,
wow.
He has bomb, so he could just do the normal version.
Yeah, but he's also Dotso, so I mean...
Ooh, that is some nice swag.
Yeah, using a berry for this is crazy. Oh, he has made himself a setup for it, but... Nice. It's very nice.
Yeah, so yeah, it does look like the top of the volcano is dead, so the hover boots might be for Fire Temple, which would be interesting. Since, you know, we see Dotso definitely did Forest Temple, and we'll see what our other players end up doing. Keymaker and I think Shiro also went for Fire Temple, because they had the hammer.
Can't that only be the case if the key layout is really, really, really bad?
That you need hovers. I think yeah. If you already have hammer, then you can just go way up top. Yeah, you can't. That wouldn't cause it to be way of the hero. So it would either be weird key logic that you need the key that's in Fire Temple, or in some situations it could be like the hammer is locked up or locked behind it.
Yeah, in this case it would have to be that the key up there is that you're not actually able to reach the place where you would have to hammer it down. Because you need the key from Volvatio.
Yeah. Has the key logic for fire, you need like everything to get up there. Even though
but
DDR
it's still a stone,
need like
right? Like Fire Temple is a stone. Oh, that's the last bomb back. Yeah, but again, Fire Temple is still a stone, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything in Fire Temple otherwise that is useful. Well, just one more medallion for Dotso.
Yeah, in DDR, no one likes to do Fire Temple, and so if you have the option to do an early Volvagia, pretty much every single player is going to take it.
But it has a stone, so screw that. If you might see Sage do a hookshot less spirit, could see that happen. Oh wait, no, he doesn't. He doesn't have hover boots.
Well, technically, if he doesn't have shoes, you can also get to adult side with shoes if you know the strat.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's got hover boots yet,
But
or shoes yet, but he's gonna get some of it right now.
Yeah, but like the strat for hookshot less requires hover boots. So he needs to get one of the two.
So I think there might be a hover bootsless version, but I don't know it myself. For statue climb. Not 100% certain on that though.
If you get to the top, I think there is one. Because there's also a glitchless one, but I think even that one might need hover boots. But generally, like the hover boots version is you climb onto the statue and then you essentially backwalk, hover, and clip through the head. And the hookshot version is that you do a hookshot extension and you just hook to the gate from the other side. But you really need one of the two. So yeah, Sage is getting into adult spirit without hover boots.
Meanwhile, Keymaker just found his mirror shield. Which, if I'm looking at Key's inventory correctly, he might be in go mode, but he might need the hook shot for Spirit Temple. I don't know. Not sure how comfortable he is with statue climb. It's another technique that is somewhat difficult, so it does require some practice. Oh, cool. So Sage got the first one. Oh, there we go. So he's through it now.
He might be going spirit now. Dotso's doing water.
As expected, Dotso's going for that water. It can be more or less fast. Water Temple is very open, and so depending where you find the boss key, it can be a minute or it can be like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like Dotso and Key seem to be more or less in the same position. Like they both only need one more medallion, and right now it's really difficult to say who's gonna be first in that, because the last medallion in Water Temple might be hard to get. Like it might be that the boss key is in a really stupid position. And there's no saying how quick Key is gonna go for Spirit.
In general, we can say that like the tricks needed for Spirit Temple are harder than the ones that Dotso is going to need in Water Temple. As to which one is going to be faster, it will depend on the boss key position. So it could be close. We will see.
Yeah, it's impossible to say. Until this isn't impossible to say anymore.
You know, I was Ishira kind of hoping for this, kind of hoping that she finds something good in Fire Temple, which we still haven't found the second hook shot, so it's possible, but we'll see. Spikes are the weirdest enemies in this game. I don't understand them. I don't know if Dotso understands them. Dotso's part of the decomp. Maybe he can explain how they work in the most generous definition of the word work.
Yeah,
Greg!
Dotso was part of the decomp in many ways. there's something about the game that so generally knows it. Let's check some other people. Where's Renegade?
We'll see. So we'll see. At this point, Kingmaker has just arrived in Spirit Temple, so starting to be able to find that boss key. He's also gonna have a little bit more trouble in that once he finds the boss key, he still has to get to the boss door. Versus Water Temple, basically, once you find the key, you reset and you're there. We'll see. It is still a pretty close race between the two of them. I don't remember where the boss key is.
Guys in Jabu getting his 4th medallion.
Meanwhile, we also see Sage is also going through Spirit Temple, so still hoping to find that boss key as well. And I think Sage isn't quite in go mode yet either.
So he's doing a trick over here, where he wants to only visit this place once.
I believe this one is also allowed in standard, I believe. There are some different versions you can do in DDR. Notably, you can weird shot to get this one check.
Basically, yeah, waiting for the explosion and then pulling. So you're pulling the block, like your actual movement is interrupted and you're being pushed to the side, but he fails it. It's not all that bad.
Kingmaker trying to do a normal hover bits thing, but you can just hover slide here if you don't have if you don't have hookshot, you can just hover slide back. Oh, poor Key. He back flipped off though, unfortunately. But we'll get to see it again.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, so Nightcore DDR, if you're not familiar, it's a glitch rule set between Standard and Noir and One Warp. It allows a lot of quality of life glitches while banning some of the most powerful glitches in the game. The general idea is that you have to enter the boss rooms by the intended way, by standing in front of them and pressing A button, and you have to enter dungeons more or less the intended way. This in particular is the first qualifier match for the DDR tournament. So there'll be another 8 week or another 7 qualifying matches, I guess, after this, and you need to join at least 3 races in order to qualify for the bracket stage.
Yeah, so far neither Dotson or Keymaker are especially lucky in getting their boss keys that they need.
Playing songs, true final boss.
Really fun to see people be more or less neck and neck, while at the same time being in different places.
So yes, one thing, we were mentioning them being neck and neck. The DDR tournament as well uses the DDR weekly settings, which has 1s over 5m. So there's one stone that you're required to open the Rainbow Bridge, and then you need 5 medallions in order to get the Ganon's boss key. So here we've got, it looks like Dotso in this particular seed is going to be skipping Spirit Temple, whereas Keymaker in the seed is going to be skipping Water Temple. So basically they flipped which medallion they're skipping. The main reason for that, of course, is that Dotso didn't find Mirror Shield but found Hookshot, and Keymaker found Mirror Shield but didn't find Hookshot.
It's a really fun thing about our current settings in DDR, but they're such different. It actually happens quite often too. Where I'm really stupid about some kind of check and I better dungeon than other people.
There's that boss gate. Now Dotso's going to be going directly to the boss. Here, as we've mentioned a couple times, going to be doing another hover slide. So these hover boots coming in very much in handy for exactly not what they are intended for.
Everything but Shadow.
And if you missed the explanation earlier, what Dotso's doing here is he's getting a super slide, or actually he's doing a mega flip. So he's waiting a particular time, a particular time in the explosion, and then you can then do a backflip, or in this case he did a side hop, and that gives you a lot of momentum backwards. Just after you land, you can then equip, or I think just when you're in the air too, you can equip the hover boots and keep that giant boost of speed, and that lets you cross the gap at the end.
He immediately got, oh my god, he got the quick kill. The super
Nice.
quick kill. I suppose thanks to Arthur Odini for providing a setup to immediately pull out the nucleus. Actual Morpha. Keep him up there. The right position to push him against the wall. That was super quick.
That was a very nice fight. We also see here kind of the downside for Spirit Temple, as the Keymaker and Sage seem to be looking for that boss gate. It seems to be in a pretty bad spot for these guys.
Sage have all of this?
This put is looking like either top or possibly like the vanilla location or the chest way up top, which are both really gross. Means you don't have to do statue climb though, so that's nice, I guess.
It means Dotso might be getting a sub 2 hours, and we have a boss key.
There we go.
Horrendous position.
Ooh, so Sage, it does appear to be going for statue climb.
Is there a way through without horror boots and without hookshot?
I believe there is, but we'll find out very shortly.
We'll find out.
Oh, 100%. He's dropping here, so yeah.
Alright, top left Sage, we're gonna see a statue climb.
Meanwhile, nice quick kill for on Shiro for the Volvaja.
Nice.
Oh, and he fell down. That's a big F there in chat. He also doesn't have enough magic right now to use FW, I think.
What do you need magic for?
Because he doesn't have hookshot to climb back up. So you need FW to get back up onto the platform to drag
Oh,
him.
right! Yeah, because he doesn't have a hookshot. Oh!
Looks like he might be trying to clip out of bounds here.
Oh yeah, to void out, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Gnarly.
So gonna go for the swag. He is. So it's very fun to hess up these stairs. This is one occasion where because you need to turn around a lot, super slide doesn't work as well. But once again, that saves like 10 seconds. But it looks pretty swag.
It does. Just super difficult.
think if I remember correctly, Keymaker should be finding his boss key soon. And also able to... He might opt just to go from the top section. We'll see.
So again, he's gonna get the damage of the bigger onslaught. ISG. Get out the bow to have the hitbox of the bow. And then you just stand there.
Nice quick kill. Sage is still going for that statue climb. We'll see. He looks like he might be getting close.
I think the first frame.
There you go.
He got it!
Beautiful.
Wow! That must be super precise to do this without hover boots. So that's some swag. Mega seems to be lowering the platform, meanwhile.
Meanwhile, Shira has now found her hover boots. And Keymaker is still looking for things. I don't know if he found the Vosky yet. Oh, there's the second hook shot! In top of Spirit. That is disgusting.
At least he has a hook shot now, right?
Also, really sucks for Sage because I think that was like the next check for him. Kind of unfortunate, but you see, he made it through.
I would have had to climb though. I mean, now Keymaker and Sage are fairly close.
Though Keymaker is actually a little bit ahead because he's also got fire done already. Though Keymaker is
GG to
once he's done
Dotso.
that, he'll be just needs to finish Spirit and then he'll go to Ganon. As Dotso is finishing up Ganon now. And Shiro's doing that unloading technique that we mentioned, so you'll see here, she'll pop into Spirit Shadow Trial, and then the block will suddenly be gone.
It works with the Spirit one too.
GG to Dotso.
GG. Hello.
Hello.
GG Dotso.
Thank you.
GG. Dotso, the fact that you got the hookshot when you did it, like immediately catapulted you forward.
Yeah.
I figured it was such a weird, like, start that I figured, like, no one else would do that.
We have just now found the second hookshot, though.
Oh, where was it?
Top of Spirit. Vanilla BK chest.
The one thing I didn't check!
It's... Keymaker just found that. Sage actually skipped it. Did hover boots-less, hook shot-less, statue climb.
Nice.
And then it seems like the very next chest was hook shot, which...
Now both Sage and Keymaker are on Twin Rover.
Where was the mirror shield?
I think in one of the graves. The grave, I think.
Oh, was it like the composer grave chest or whatever?
Is Darunia.
forgot.
Thank you.
Oh, the Runia, yeah.
That makes sense. Double
Sarius was
Sarius
super weird
blocks
here.
magic, yeah. Block magic, forest, and mirror shield, apparently.
Do you have an understanding of why hovers were way after hero?
No, I have no clue.
I don't get it.
Yeah, well, they looked like they were needed in Fire Temple, but Fire is a stone,
I think it
so
was a stone.
it's kind of weird. We don't know why it would be needed for that.
Yeah, actually, I did mean to check that. That's one thing else to do.
We don't have a spoiler log because this was generated in dev.
I mean, now Sage has finished Spirit Temple now, so we'll see where he opts to go from here. At this point, he has all 5 medallions and just basically needs to pick a stone. They all kind of suck, though, to be
Oh, it's a
honest.
stone.
Yeah,
I mean,
it seems-
Keymaker's actually ahead, yeah.
So, like, at this point, he doesn't have a hook shot for Forest, and he doesn't have Hammer for Fire. So we'll see if he opts to do Stone Shadow. He has everything for it. It's just gross.
That boss quiz was insane.
She was some really big swag. The quick hit on Morpha was like brutally good.
Although, can we talk about that swag hover to or Beery mega flip?
Oh yeah.
That was beautiful.
It was amazing. I have to like go back afterwards and clip that. It's just so hype.
I made a video for it. It was Eggmeister said he wanted one, and he's been saying it for like months. It's like, you know, this should be possible. Why doesn't a setup exist? And I'm just like, all right, well, here you go.
It's kind of absolutely beautiful. I especially like that you had bombs too. They still went for it because, I mean,
I never do
technically he's
that.
a faster.
Swag.
I never do that with bombs. I only ever use choose, and I only had like 4. So
I like that the alternative is I don't have very many bombs, so let me use a Beery instead. So Dotso found Hookshot in the Vanilla Din's Fire location. So where the fairy is in the not courtyard, field, no, whatever that area is
For
called.
everyone else, we're showing
Hero
the
Crest.
restream. None of the other players have
Thank you.
found that one.
Yeah, the only other hookshot that we found so far is Keymakers that was top of Spirit.
like no one checked Dins after getting Vanilla ZL.
Yeah.
Oh, because they didn't
No.
have bombs, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I would have done it anyway. I would have just clipped it.
Yeah, I think most of the players might have had bombs afterwards.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do that scrub really early because otherwise I forget about it. So
There's a chance that might also be what happened here, but we'll see. Keymaker's currently finishing up. He's got all of the medallions and stones he needs, so he's going to go to Ganon now. You know, Sage, as we kind of predicted, is going for that shadow play. At this point, it's the one temple he can do, so it makes sense. It's just shadows can be a really long temple, or it will be nice and give him the boss key super early.
oh, I bet Rudo's letter is in shadow.
I suppose it would block out one stone, one medallion then?
Yeah, and then probably like key letter for the other one. His hovers aren't required for much, so it's weird that they're away to the hero.
Like we basically had to, like we're telling people that of hover boots and DDRs that you use them for so many things. They're super useful for everything.
Yeah,
But
like glitchless logic useful for like 4 things. TDR useful for like 7 dungeons.
We were kind of sad we didn't have the hover boots for
yeah,
Forest
RG
Temple.
also doesn't have hooks yet.
But we did still get to see the mega flip in Forest, which was very nice.
Yeah, who needs hover boots?
I think hovers were in Trials, I think.
Yeah.
That time is so good. That's brutal.
Which is one of the hints for this. Decent hints so far,
Okay.
pointing you to hovers. And
Please tell me something else is in Kakariko, though. Because the opportunity bow, which was locked by a bow, is just bullshit.
it can happen.
I know.
It isn't tied to logic at all, so it can happen, and it's hilarious.
Still stupid.
Like Ganon boss fight for Keymaker now. Singled out of the 3 things. I suppose out of the 2 things that he could choose. For Stone, Sage is going to Shadow Temple.
And I guess for you, Dot, so you skipped actually all 3 mini dungeons this time.
Yeah, well, there's no way I was going to Ivy's. And then I thought about GTG after I messed around in Spirit for a little bit, but I got the Dins, and I figured with the Sphere Zero bombs and the basically Sphere Zero magic, that there's probably something in Shadow. So, like, worst case scenario, I'm gonna have to go to Shadow. So I was like, well, if I'm gonna go to one place I don't have to go to ever, I'd rather go to Shadow than GTG.
Speaking of Shadow, we did just see Sage do their cage clip, block clip. The official name for it. There are about 600 different setups, and I think every DR player vehemently insists their version is the best. But the idea there is you kind of clip yourself between the cage and the wall that's there, and that lets you skip most of the dungeon. You do have to be careful though, because if you do that, it's possible to key lock yourself. So, Silvers.
Also, oh, there's Strength 2 in there.
That
Strength
could be
2 is in Shadow.
Hovers.
That locks Spirit.
Rootless Letter. If both Rootless Letter and Strength 2 are in there, it makes sense. But it's way after Hero.
Stone Shadow always finds a way, unless we can glitch around it.
Yeah. It tries its best, you know.
It occasionally finds a way.
And that
it
is
tries
a
every seed, and sometimes it actually succeeds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Keymaker starting phase 2 for Ganon. So should be done pretty soon.
I like the thought process that you could just see in the hesitation from Sage. Like, wait, do I need those keys?
And we have Keymaker in 2nd place. Pretty amazing.
GG. Also a sub 2.
So good.
Mhm.
Although, like, the 146 from Dotso is super strong.
Should have been faster. I decided to do Spirit.
Now, usually, if
Humble
a seed
brag.
is sub 2, it's a good seed.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ooh, Sage in a
One
fun
else
struggle.
getting a hook shot.
Oh, soft block.
Spin
Such
to
a
win.
dumb soft block too.
Also, a small reminder about telling finishes of the race time room. The restream is about 30 seconds behind. Wait for the bot to announce the time.
Alright.
Yeah, you never know. He could have died to Ganon with double defense and like 7 hearts.
If Keymaker's controller decided that exact moment was a good time to crap out, it
That's a
could
fair
happen,
point, actually.
and would have been hilarious and also tragic.
GG Keymaker.
GG Key.
That was a seed.
You wanna know what the first hookshot was?
My chat just told me, and I was thinking about that spot for a while. Well played, Dotso. I'm assuming a lot of, like, pretty much everyone is missing hookshot.
Pretty much, yeah.
Sage doesn't have one. Shiro doesn't have one, which I'm sure she's really mad about.
And neither does RG.
I mean, RG's fine without a hookshot, though.
Yeah, honestly, I was completely prepared to finish up the seed without a hookshot, and then just got like stupidly lucky.
Sage actually did a hookshotless statue climb in Spirit Temple.
Nice.
Because he found the boss key and then went and just did that. And I think he got unlucky that literally his next check would have been hookshot, but he got the statue climb, which was super impressive. So.
Yeah, I don't know statue climb that well, even with hookshot, but I had Arthur's video up to do the recoil boost from the top without hookshot, and was kind of like listening to it in the background while I was doing the rest of Spirit, and then got hookshot and laughed for 5 minutes while I finished it up.
I gotta say, in general, you and like Keymaker and Dotsu, like you two, you made like for like really, really fun like final 10 minutes or so, because Dotsu was going Water Temple and Yuki we were going Spirit. At pretty much, and you started at pretty much the same time, and it was really, really cool to see.
Yeah, unfortunately, water is a lot more efficient of a dungeon than Spirit, especially if you know more tricks in it.
Well, Dotso had iron boots and Zelda's lullaby, so.
Yeah,
I had all the stuff.
Yeah, and honestly, even if we both had the same equipment and both went water, I think you still would have beaten me there. You're a lot more efficient than I am in dungeons.
It was Central Pillar, so unless you had iron boots or know the trick.
Yeah, you would have crushed me.
Yeah,
I had iron boots, but that's like I usually don't check Central Pillar till like mid to late Water Temple, so you still would have gotten me.
It's funny because I missed the side hop to the cracked wall because my D-pad decided not to put hover boots on. So I had to raise the water anyway. So I was like, well, let's just do Central Pillar, and then it was the boss key.
Yeah, I usually do that whole right side and then set it to middle level anyway to do Central Pillar and I think something else, but whatever.
So yes, Panazel, 2 of our runners are done, which are actually on voice now with us, Dotso and Keymaker. GG to both of them. We do still have 2 of our runners going, as well as the rest of our racers. Though if you are upset at missing us, we do have this every week for the next 7 weeks after this, we do have more qualifier races. So there is some more DDR action to catch.
Yeah, that was a very zoomer seed with a bunch of Lost Woods was just like so loaded.
Walking to Lost Woods at like an hour 20. It's like, I wonder what I'm gonna find here. Oh, magic. Oh, hammer. Oh, boomerang. Oh, let's go mode. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. I literally, so I skipped 3 songs for a little bit, came back to 3 songs and did Lost Woods and had like every single item, but didn't have a slingshot. So later I found a slingshot and was doing some other stuff. I was like, you know what? Everything was in Lost Woods. Let's check the last of Lost Woods and got hammer. And that led to my go mode.
Yeah, I think altogether, I think there were 4 things.
What's that, Snarky?
Yeah, well, it was the Highland Shield. No, that was the last seed. What was in the grottos?
In this seed?
Yeah, the scrub had a Deku Shield. I don't remember what was in the
scrub had a Deku Shield because I remember making fun of that. I don't think the other one had anything important.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, there was a bomb bag in Lost Woods. That's the other one.
Oh yeah, that was the scrub.
The scrub.
Which I was also sad about because I made the strength play in DC and got bombs right at the end. And I was like, oh, some people aren't going to go for that. And then found the Sphere Zero bomb bag.
Also, what's that? I don't have everything or nothing.
Oh yeah, and rank.
Well, so Sage we see here, kind of finishing up here. We'll just be able to go directly to the boss, has the extra keys, so Sage is going to be finishing up the Bongo Bongo pretty quickly. See if it goes for the quick kill, or if it goes for some IHG strats.
And it seems like out of all the stone dungeons, Fire was kind of the best one in terms of key layout.
Oh, yeah, it was perfect.
Was it just like right next to the boss, right?
It was the bottom flare dancer, was BK.
Forest was the map. So it wasn't too bad.
That's not bad either. And then water was, Where was Shadow BK?
No clue.
I think it was Doritos room.
Yeah, you just got it.
I haven't seen that setup for Meg. Oh, Sage, no. That was unfortunate. He got a little
The short hop.
fake jump there, the short hop, yeah. That's funny. That's a much faster way to
Nice.
megaflip through. I usually like kind of like go a much slower route.
Yeah, I go for the left.
I go left.
Whenever I do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a quick kill. Yes, we're gonna get a quick kill. And he did.
Heyo.
And we'll see. Only 15 more attempts.
Still don't know why people get ISG for this. It's not
Oh, yeah.
necessary.
I need to relearn this quick kill. I have
Funny,
to,
they
like-
have kind of like a wall setup for this. You just run to the hole, drop one, and it always works.
You set up
I
left
choose the-
from door. It's perfect position to just roll
Oh.
forward.
Yeah,
Didn't
my
even know that.
GST practice ROM is 1.2, so I like can never practice it, and I don't really feel like setting up another file to do it. I just need to
Oh,
install
you
the
can.
version.
You can. Well, if you just want the bomb drop, you can like watch it.
Yeah.
So, gotcha. DDR stands for Dungeon Door Requirement. It's a glitch rule set designed to be between standard and no armor. Allows for a lot of quality of life glitches while banning some of the most powerful glitches in the game. In general, the general gist of it is that you need to open boss doors by standing in front of them and pressing A. And you need to enter dungeons more or less the intended way.
Very least, you have to open the door. No matter how you get in there, you have to open the front door.
We're just polite in
And the
DDR
same
and
for
knock
boss keys.
first. Compared to
Same
no
goes
iron
for
work.
boss keys. Spirit especially has a pretty gnarly boss key skip. But that one unloads the door, and the door has to be there, and you have to go through the door. Pressing A.
Shadow.
What did I say?
Yeah.
You said spirit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, spirit also has a boss key.
Yeah.
If there's a dungeon that has a boss key, it can be skips.
You can certainly try playing with the DDR, Matt. Let us know how that goes because it sounds funny.
I unfortunately do not own a DDR mat, otherwise I 100% would have by now.
It'd be amazing. Now we see Shiro going for a stone shadow dip, probably trying to follow that the way of the hero for those hover boots. And we'll find the strength too. Well, I don't think we found anything else in here though.
Wasn't there
So
with
we're
the
not
jetpack?
entirely sure.
Yeah, that way of the hero, both the way of the heroes were kind of baity and interesting, but they also gave a lot of information.
I mean, the Saria song Way of the Hero makes sense. Because it
Yeah.
gave like Mirror Shield, it gave access to Forest Temple, and Magic, yeah.
Mhm.
And those 5
I'll show
bombs
you
on the
some
frogs too.
magic.
Those super important bombs.
Most
True.
important bombs.
Yep.
It's logically very problematic. Imagine trying to play the seed without 5 bombs.
Literally
Also, this
impossible.
is the Shiro seed, so we got the Leon Shield in Deku Tree. Very important.
Next, you're going to tell me I have to play the seed without the single Deku stick check.
It's where you have to do it without Greg. Literally impossible.
I actually did find that. I don't remember where it was.
Water Temple. Map
Oh yeah, it
Forest.
was
Yeah.
the water map. I blocked that out because I fell right after. I need to find out if you can quick shot jump off it to go back up. Probably not.
You also still need to find if you
high.
can hookshot jump to get to Morpha. We're still waiting on that, Dotso.
You can't. It's too
Please
tall.
find a way. Something. Find like a new trick or something.
I guess there's nothing there to do a double hookshot jump off of. Like a token or whatever.
Yeah, like if there's something on the bottom, it'd work.
Ooh, the strat is to drag that one block all the way across the room for some reason.
That would be hilarious. Because especially since we don't need really strength for anything else in DDR, so having strength be a way to get to Morph early would be amazing.
I forget if there used to be a strat in Water Temple. I forget if it was vanilla or some ROM hack where you like drag the statue all the way around to like get in the bottom door to middle. That might have been a ROM hack though.
That sounds like a ROM hack.
That might have been Petru's challenge or something. It was probably intended knowing that hack.
With Petru, yeah, that sounds accurate.
Yeah.
This reminds me of Zero Temple. Where you push the thing all the way across if you don't have fire arrows or magic.
Ooh, nice one, Sage. You missed the ISG, but you got the crouch step instead.
And imagine being able to get ISG in Ganondorf fight.
If you
I
do
mean,
it
not-
before,
We do it the right way.
if you do it before he falls, it's not as
I mean,
funny.
All you-
It's mostly because
You're-
when I play, it turns into a PowerPoint presentation.
yeah.
I mean, the
I don't
trick
get
to
your
it is to
problem.
jump
Just play on
slash.
GameCube or on Wii.
I mean, the trick to it is to jump slash before you start reflecting off of him and reflect with a bottle instead, so you're not trying to jump slash and then ISG in the after the light arrows. Gives you way more time to do it.
Yeah, but he still has lag. Lots of lag.
Yeah. I mean,
The hour and a half.
just get good, Captain.
I mean, that's the part I'm struggling with, really.
The getting or the good?
Yes.
Just have
Yeah,
to
there it
join
is
the
in
weekly
Doritos room.
lobby.
Sorry, what was that?
Just have to join the weekly lobby.
Eh.
Eh,
Eh.
eh. We're just becoming like gold. Everyone is leaving us behind.
Speaking of the DDR weeklies, if you are looking to just join kind of casually, every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, which should be 3 p.m. UTC, maybe? Someone can correct me if that's wrong. They have weekly races with the DDR rule set. And compared to the qualifiers, those have spoiler log enabled, and they also, during the time for the tournament, you are able to, if you want to hop into the DDR weekly chat voice channel and chat with people to try and strategize as well as route if you need help with techniques. So that's a great way to learn
Generally,
learn about tricks and techniques and just improve, get better at DDR in general.
yeah, we generally always have people that would be willing to help out in that regard and go in voice with you and show you things.
Two of them
Like,
notably are in
there's
this
so much help.
voice chat with us. Dotso and Keymaker are both very frequently help other players out in the voice chat.
I mean, let's be honest, I don't think most people ever want my help. I
GG
think-
stage.
Different perspectives can be really, really useful for like trick setups.
Yeah.
Oh, also, Key, I did let them know as you were failing the slingshot minigame that their controller adapter was having issues. So I told them it was
Yeah.
probably because of that.
Yep, that's definitely the reason. 100%.
Yep, 100%,
Not just mini game.
It's definitely the controller issues.
Totally.
Isn't it nice to have an excuse?
Well, before, like a couple months ago, before it used to be the controller was bad, then I got a custom controller, and that couldn't be an excuse anymore. So now it's the adapter. The problem is I'm getting a new adapter soon, so that won't be an excuse anymore.
GG's to Sage.
Alright, I've hit my limit. I need to go eat.
Yeah, go and
All right, cheers.
Thanks for stopping
That
by,
was a good run.
Dotso. GG again.
Thanks. See you guys.
See ya. GG.
So while we got some time, we can once again shout out our amazing trackers. who have been helping us through the entire race. 10 with the tracker list is thanks. So MC Paula, Ginger Sunny, Lazy, and Joda with J. Thank you so much for helping keep track of all the items the players have and letting us know what checks we missed, because you guys pay way better at letting us know these things. Also, of course, special thanks for Siberian, the restreamer who's helping us out, as well as my co-commentator, the Snarky Lesbian.
Thanks for the amazing Dobby for his amazing and super professional commentary.
I do my best.
Join the weeklies. I'm serious. Please. We need you, Dobby. You're our only hope.
We do. If you are enjoying watching, you can try. If you're looking to join the to join DDR races, as we were mentioning, there are the weekly races on Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. UTC. Is it 4 p.m.? Yes, it's right there. Alternatively, for the next several weeks, or for the next 7 weeks after this, we have qualifier racers at the same time as today, so 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. UTC. And those races, in order to qualify for brackets, you need to participate in at least 3 of those races. So you still have plenty of time if you're looking to join up with those. Otherwise, you can just pay attention. You can follow all of our runners, and which should do that one too. Thanks, everyone. You can give them a follow, where hopefully they join in more races in the future. Also,
if you just
welcome
want to play
Sage.
it by yourself
GG.
with the new hint system, go to the generator on the website and pick the def generator, and that one has a preset for DDR, so you can check out the different hint systems.
That also has if you're looking for these exact settings, that has the DDR preset. So you can just select that and play with the settings we have here. GG, Sage.
Thanks.
GG's.
I'm almost afraid to ask where they were. Literally anything. Where was anything?
Lost
So the
Woods,
first hook
probably.
shot was on Din's Ferry as a child.
Cool.
Second
I
hook
wouldn't
shot
possibility
was the
either.
very next chest in Spirit. Bosky.
Well, at that point I didn't care.
Yeah.
Hover boots,
Yeah, I
though.
gotta
I was looking
say.
for either hover boots or hookshot. Oh,
Uh,
hover boots?
Hoverboots was inside
Hoverboots.
Ganon's castle in, I think, Water Trial.
No.
Yeah, Water Troll.
So it was either going to be that Din's Ferry hookshot or nothing, basically.
Yeah, I missed the Din's Ferry hook shot, went for a hook shotless Spirit, and then caught the hook shot at the end there, right before I needed it. Otherwise, I was going to sit there for 10 minutes and learn something.
I did the fucking backflip thing through the face.
Very well done for that. That was beautiful.
That both hookshot-less and hoverbootless statue climb. I didn't even know that was possible.
Oh, yeah,
Amazing.
I forgot. I didn't realize you didn't have hover boots either.
Yeah.
No, I went... Dude, those opportunity hints have a real talent for giving you the exact item that you don't need at any given moment.
Yes.
What were
I
in
was-
those
I was-
options? I missed most of them.
Lake
I
Hylia
had
had
to-
fire arrows. I was really hoping that
Oh.
would be either the hookshot or the hovers, but it was fire arrows. Goron City was the mirror shield.
Right.
I can't remember what the other one was.
It was
Cac I think was a bow on the
Yeah.
archery game.
Yeah, CAC was
Oh,
a
that's
lock
what
about.
it was. Okay, that's the only check I forgot to do. That in like 20 skulls,
Yeah.
but I got lucky and missed the bait.
Well, I was really afraid to go. Like, I knew it was possible to do theoretically, and I ended up doing it, but like, I was really afraid there was going to be a key on that left chest, and then I'd have to do that stupid bomb chew clip through the silver block another time. And then I found Furors in bottom of the well, so that ended up helping a little bit. Because then if that had been a key, then I could just leave a Furors there, and I wouldn't have to do the clip twice.
Are our guys done?
Also
2:17,
complaining.
Still a quite respectable time. we also appreciate, Sage, that you did the cuckoo dive into bottom of the well. It ended up being worthless, but we still appreciate it.
Hey, Barora's wind was down there.
So right now I'm checking Fanta,
I
and
was
Fanta
really
has
tempted.
all 6 medallions. That's interesting.
I was really tempted to go bottom of the well, but I figured that storms must have been on Nocturne, so I figured it logically didn't make sense.
I don't know. I don't think we didn't see storms in none of our players, so that would make sense for Nocturne.
Yeah, I think I checked everywhere else. I knew Ocarina of Time was vanilla, and I knew Ice Cavern had to be either Prelude or Serenade. So there were only so many options left. I forget if I checked Suns or not, but I think at that point it was kind of whatever.
So Sora's also moving towards the end.
What does Shiro still need? She needs to complete one more dungeon. Which is either... Those are water spirits. Okay, so either water or spirit. Oh, they don't have Oak Shot yet, that's why.
Yeah, and she can't do such a climb, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it's Spirit without Hookshot is probably one of the more difficult ones. I don't know how to do it. I would have had to spend 10 minutes with a video and learn it on the
That's
fly,
pretty
which is-
elusive one.
Yeah, it's not something you want to be doing during a tournament race.
You get the hang of it, it's not too bad, but learning it during a race I wouldn't want to do.
Thanks, Runner Guy, for the raid. Also, GG, RG.
Hey! GG, RG! Good job.
Fourth place is a very respectable place for a marbles main.
Especially considering that RG doesn't play a lot of DDR.
Yeah, he's a marbles main.
Oh, right. That's highly respectable.
So, are there any further questions? Because I'm not sure how long Shiro will take to find any of those hookshots to finish up her seat. So we might write her.
Sounds good. So probably just plug one last time that this is the first qualifier race for the DDR tournament, Season 1. So if you're looking to join, there are still 7 races left in the next 7 weeks every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. UTC. In all, for the 8 races, you just need to join 3 of them to qualify for the final bracket. After that, it will be a selection of the top from among the leaderboard. And so if you're looking to try it out, you still have plenty of time to do so. Otherwise, we feel free to join or follow our runners if you want to check out more races afterwards.
Feel obligated to mention that the seeds usually give you a hook shot earlier than that. It's usually not that bad, so don't be afraid.
I mean, to be fair, the hook shot in this seed was like Sphere 3. It was just at a really gross Sphere 3.
Yeah, I guess like the best way to kind of get started with DDR is to either come to us over in the Discord channel for DDR and you can just ask questions about like tricks or about how logic tends to be different in our settings, and then just join one of our weeklies. And every weekly, Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time or 5 p.m. CET. Around that time. Please hang out. We're fun, I swear.
Free hook shots for everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, and also to note, you've seen a lot of really cool glitches here, but just to reemphasize, glitches are not required in the seeds. It uses glitchless logic, so you're perfectly able to go through an entire seed using 0 glitches, and then just if you want, as you feel comfortable, you can add in glitches that you like. You only want to do Cuckoo Dive, you know what? That's a fine choice of one glitch to use. But if you, or other ones that can be fun, if you want to learn some cool ones, ISG is typically pretty good, megaflip is pretty good, as well as some of the movement tech that you can do. So
The only
looking
thing
to
that
try it
isn't
out,
acceptable is doing everything but Cuckoo Dive.
yes. Looks pointedly at Dotso that's not here. The insistence on going fast and stuff. Ugh.
I think Sage was the only one who was going into bottom of the well to begin with. And
Yeah.
you showed it off. We are so thankful.
Oh, that's the only way to go down there, really.
Yeah, this is fact.
So I'm pretty sure Song Storms is really only useful for 2 checks. 3 if you count the 3 for the frogs, yeah. That's all
This
it's
is
for.
fact.
Okay, then thank you again, the Snarky Lesbian and Dolby Digital for commentating this this qualifier race. Also, thank you to our trackers, Mac Paula, Joda with J. Who else was in there? Lazy and Ginger Sonny. Make sure to give all of them a follow. Also follow our runners. And next up on ZSR, we have tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern a Wind Waker Randomizer tournament match. Winner bracket round 1 between Sayes and Koala. And on Tuesday, 10 p.m. EDT, we have a Zelda 2 Randomizer weekly race. Make sure to check our schedule for more Zelda content, because right now we also have a link to the past Randomizer tournament going on, so you might also see a few restreams of those. We are heading over to Shiro at the end, because we don't know how long it will take her to find the hookshot, and please keep in mind, no spoilers or anything. And with everything said, or do you have any other remarks?
Not on my end, but thank you once again, also Siberian for restreaming for us. We very much appreciate it.
Yes,
Thanks
that's lovely.
for
Thanks a lot.
doing commentary, and thanks for organizing this tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Then only left for me to say is thank you very much for watching. See you next time here on ZSR.